meeting to order.
Jenkins?
Here.
Harden?
Here.
Vaughn?
Here.
McKinley?
Here.
Pearl? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There being no proclamations or public comments, we will move to section 1, the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second it.
Call it.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl? Motion carried.
There being no unfinished business, we'll move to section 3, new business.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2014-15, Farm City Kiwanis donation of $12,504 to offset the cost of the installation of playground equipment at South Park.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
The Kiwanis did send a formal letter making this request. We will take, if it's passed, we'll take the money out of the administrative.
And this is to bring somebody in to help install it, plus the curbing, I believe, and the,
I don't know about the curbing.
I think it's the curbing and then the wood chip and what have you.
Again, the next question is going to be everything, to complete everything out there.
Here is
Yeah.
here's a copy of the letter, if you all want to look at it.
And we already put in 15.
Yeah. They had said last year that it was going to be around 10. It is. It's the game time 12-inch play curb package, access play curb with adapters. That's the big plastic pieces. Engineered wood fiber. That's the wood chip that goes around it. The geotextile roll. That's the tarp that goes down. And the TerraFlow drain. There's a drainage system that goes underneath the black tarp that allows the water to go out. And then the big expense, it looks like, well, one of the big expenses is the miscellaneous per day supervised installation. They bring somebody out and, for 3 days to make sure that it's put in correctly. So that finishes it off. Would anyone like to see it?
When they plan on having her done?
The second,
June's,
third week of June.
yeah, second week.
And they're looking for volunteers and also whatever help they can get from the city.
So we just send anybody to supervise to watch people put it together.
Yeah, you really need it. When we put the blue one out there at Weedman Park, I mean, you really need somebody they'll come up and make sure they have the depth there, making sure everything's aligned and that you start with the correct pieces. So, it probably saves you a whole bunch of time and a whole lot of sweat. And it's a lot. They'll come in and put it in for you too, but that's a lot more expensive. So.
So how much is the total project been so far? I mean, how much have they raised already? I guess what I'm asking.
$50,000, I believe, and but with that, and I haven't been to a Kiwanis meeting for a while, but they got a grant with this because it is handicap accessible, and the lady that we had been dealing with moved to another company, and in that company she found us a grant that if we had this put in there, we got like a $30,000-$40,000 grant. So the total price of this park is, $80,000-$90,000, not including this. So quite a bit is raised. The city and Clark have been footing the bill on this. So of course Kiwanis do a lot of fundraising through the races, and they have their sausage and pancake breakfast, and they have private donors. But Clark and the city were heavy on this.
Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Call it.
Harden?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Make a motion to move into executive session, setting a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C, 6 of the Open Meeting Act, and then also executive session personnel to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, and/or performance of specific employees pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
Seconded.
Call it.
Han,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carried.
Now we can open session and we move to section 4, other items, the city manager's report.
Several little things going on, but if you've been over around on West Street, you'll see that that underground project is moving rather quickly. They thought that they'd have that pretty well wrapped up within the next 10 days. Then the old lines will come down, the old three-phase that's up on top will come down, the poles will be removed, and they'll be doing the changeover. The water department, they're continuing to install those radio read meters. Willard, you had asked about the meters, and I put a flyer over there by you. You'll see that it takes about a month for a case to come in, so I had directed Calvin to at least get 3 dozen of those ordered. The water department also has received their training on being able to use the air pack. Back last fall, the Illinois Department of Labor came in and had learned that our employees had never been trained on the proper use of an air pack. So we've had that done. There is an air pack that's located out at the water plant. It had never been inspected. We had that inspected. And the guys worked with the fire department. They went down there during the last council meeting. They were down there and they had received their training. Also, Calvin has talked to Dan Warren, the fire chief, about flushing the fire hydrants. They're going to work together on doing that so the water department can show them the proper procedure for flushing fire hydrants. And Calvin had given me some information about some product that he's going to put into the water that will knock the iron bacteria down, reducing some of the discoloration. And he's going to leave that in the system and get that moving around a little bit before they get the hydrants flushed. If you drove down along Route 54 for the last week, you'll see water running down the road. That fiber optics crew that's in town put a lead water line down through there. They potholed the best they could trying to find where that line was at, but it was lead. They didn't have a lot of luck. So they called the Illinois Rural Water Association. They came in today. Illinois Rural Water didn't have any luck finding it, so they've contacted IDOT. IDOT has given them permission to get down in there and start knocking some holes in the concrete. Illinois Rural Water did find a water leak down by Oral Green's house. That was from a frozen water line from back last fall. Other than that, I don't know if they were able to find any other hidden water leaks from the water mains. If you notice here, both our other water and wastewater employees have now been enrolled to take their water and wastewater classes. That'll be coming up. One class will be held in Champaign for water. Wastewater is held at Carbondale. BMX is holding a large race out at South Park. That'll be May 16th through 18th. The guys are hoping to get the parking lot completed before then. They're expecting at least 200 racers out there, and along with the other people that will come in town with them. And Rick has reported that the sheeting's going on the roof out of the electrical warehouse. He thinks that that project should be done within the next week or so. And one last thing, the city clerk has asked that Angie in City Hall be named deputy city clerk, so we will be swearing her in and allowing her to come in, and she will be sitting in here on a couple of the next council meetings. We need to get her up and know the procedures and things that the city clerk does. In the absence of the city clerk, we can continue to have our meetings.
Any question to the city manager in his report? Any non-agenda items and other business? I know we're working on the house on, or whatever that is, the lot on Maple Street. What is the progress on that?
As of late this afternoon, I had received an email from our city attorney, and it's here on my telephone. He granted the property owner another extension, as the property owner told him that lumber was going to be delivered within the next 7 days, and that a new flooring would be laid by the 21st.
21st of this month.
That's correct. And there was some social media, there was some conversation out there, and I did discuss it with the person so they knew that that we were working on that, and I had reported that back in February that we had an ordinance violation case opened on that. So.
Don't you think it'd be, I know we got into this when I was on the zoning board, this is an issue too, same place. And of course, we couldn't do anything about it down there, and fell more back into the city's lap. But asking about if we can do an ordinance, you know, for in the future, because really, if we did something now, he'd be grandfathered out of the ordinance. But anything in the future that would happen, in some way the state, you know, if that same situation, house goes down, has to be back up within, would be 180 days, maybe something like that. That's 6 months. It shouldn't take you, you know, you put a house up in that time period and everything. And
He kept.
because whatever we do here, we sit it down to the zoning board. They'll keep that in mind every time they put something out, and they'll pretty much follow what we want to. So it keeps us from having our own zoning board and going through that sort of thing, I think.
I know I haven't checked his zoning for quite a while, but he was renewing a building permit there for an extended period of time. I don't know if he still goes through that process or not.
He would have to do something because it would expire on him, and then, you know, but the way it is, that if he doesn't have it, he'd have to probably get off, I guess, and do something different. But it's some way to find out so we don't have this happen again in the future.
It says that the lumber is to be delivered on the site by 5/14, and the grounds will be cleaned up and the floor over the basement by 5/21. That's from our city attorney.
Larry, there's something else I want to ask you too, is that whenever we, or anybody comes in town, a private contractor, and say they're going to work for me and they're going to dig a hole, do we know that hole's going to be dug by them, even though it might be on private property?
Yeah.
No. Let's say I want to have let's just say I want to do something in the alley up there in one of my buildings, and especially one that doesn't have water, and they came in there, do I, and they were to go into the concrete and everything, of course it'd be on my property, I think it's on there, but
You would be
I
required.
guess what I'm thinking is, I've seen in the past where people have, contractors have come in, some who wanted to get around, not do anything, you know, bring the hi-ho in on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and we cut a hole across Main Street and everything, and put the line in, let's say, and then walk off and leave us hanging with a ditch there and a bump on the road that we have to sit there and patch and everything. I guess the other thing too is I've always thought that anytime we dig or do anything, that do we have a code for the engineering firm so we know what project that's for, where they don't send us just a carte blanche bill that says, okay, here's what you owe us, but we don't know what it's for, because that used to happen too.
You mean with our engineers?
Our engineers, whether it's electrical or whether it's,
Yes, I mean, you can go back in and you can pull out the Farnsworth tickets for our engineering, and it'll be specific to a job site. And that's true with the engineering.
the billing will be, when they send us a
Yes.
bill, they'll say it's for this project.
Yes, yes.
They do that.
And for digging, for the digging part of it, you can't dig without a Julie locate. And the locate has to be called in by the contractor. So there you know who is reportedly doing the digging. And if that's not the case, then you can report them to Julie, and Julie will issue fines. So there is a little bit of protection out there. So. But we've been working on this for quite a while.
Well, Farnsworth used to just come in here and just give us a bill, and just say, okay, here's what you owe us, what's it for? You know, and there everything on it, you know. and expect us to pay it, you know, that's the
Right.
point where I didn't like that.
Right.
Didn't like them coming here either, so. Took up too much time.
Speaking of other houses in disarray, the one that was caught on fire over by where you used to live, they started working on that one yet?
It's gone.
Is it gone? I haven't.
The lots should be completely filled in now.
Are they filling that in with the house?
Excuse me?
Are they gonna rebuild there?
I have no idea, it's such a small lot, it's hard to tell what will happen there. There might still be a little bit of concrete there because there's an active water line there that they haven't been able to shut off yet.
Any other non-agenda items or other business? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Call it.
Brooke,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.